Hey guys, it's Matthew Greenwood, back for 2021. So here we are, fresh new year, and tonight is the beginning of a monthly series of galactic channelings. Not just channelings, but galactic information that has been sourced from uh, beings that I've been in connection with for some time now. And look, before I get into all of this, I just wanted to give you a little bit of, seeing we're at the beginning of the year, just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown on what's coming up. So once a month is going to be galactic channelings. But then in between, we'll be going back to our fireside chats, same as normal. And I just wanted to give you briefly for the next month what subjects we're going to be covering. So 4th of Feb, we're going to be doing family work, looking at the family, about trauma dynamics and energy games. That should be a fun one. Then on the 11th of Feb, feeling energy, so understanding your psychic abilities. And 18th of Feb will be about chakras. And then we go back into on the 25th of Feb, we'll go back into the galactic channeling, and we've got a bit of a plan for the next month after that too. So just a quick hello to Jasmine, Christina, Janelle, Kylie, and Fiona. Hey guys, good to see you on board. So there's been quite a lot going on, as I'm sure everyone's very conscious of. Energetically, there's been a lot of changes going on within people, as I'm sure you've noticed too. And look, everyone is having their fair share of difficulty with dealing with what's been happening. But believe me, there are ways and means to at least make it easier. One of them is the grounding process that I've taken you guys through on several occasions. And I believe that's still up on the Matthew Greenwood Spiritual Journeys Facebook site. So you can get that grounding exercise still on the site. That's mostly very important for us. Hey, Paul. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Jackie. Good to see you guys on board. So let's begin. So who I'd like to at least fill you in a little bit on are the beings that are going to be working with us tonight, or who I know are there. Can't promise that all of them will speak, but so late last year, when we did the first and the of the galactic channeling evenings, it was really just a look-see to see how everyone was going to accept it, and it seemed to be widely accepted. So we had a group of beings called the Watchers. Now, these beings are let's say, quite unique. They're not exactly the most verbally active. They literally do a lot of observation, I guess you could say, observing what's going on. They're multidimensional beings, and on occasions they have come through to me. So just letting you know that they're there. Can't promise that they'll come through. We also have a being called Hotar, which is he's been around me on and off for the last few years. He is quite tall. He's about 12 foot tall. He's an interdimensional being. There seems to be two systems of genealogy within the universe as far as limbs and fingers, or number of fingers and toes. This being has 3 fingers on each hand and 3 toes on each foot. Very large head, quite long, going sort of backwards on an angle. His ability is to slip in and out of dimensional space, but he has a lot normally to say when he does come in regarding what's going on energetically on the planet. There is a mantis being here called Javed, who there are a lot of mantis beings around at the moment. They mostly perform a protective nature for us. They also have their own certain set of skills as well. Probably the most, let's say, the most talkative is a being called Xavier. He's a physical being, but he's quite adept in water and on land, and so very intelligent, bit of a sense of humour, and very spiritual as well. We also have a being called Darness. She's very much like us, except just very much more evolved. So her race comes from, she calls it the tri-star system, which is beyond the Palladian system, but close to. So it's reasonably close to the Palladian system, and she's explained to me that this system of galaxies is actually quite thick with planets that have races living on them. So there's quite a lot of different beings within a relatively small set of solar systems that are basically populated. So it's interesting when you start to get into it. Look, over the next 12 months, we'll try and give you more broader information. So I'm kind of just throwing a whole lot of stuff at you at the moment. We did talk about this a little bit late last year, but I know they've got a lot they want to talk about. So it won't be just them communicating through me. It'll be me as well, because they have shared information with me. Yeah, we'll just take it step by step, and I'll fill you in. Believe me, I'm not going to be going into trance and all of that sort of thing. Channeling has taken on a whole new way of being these days, with the vibrational increases that have been going on the planet for some time now. We don't have to go into trance. Basically, it can be just as I am now, except they're communicating through me, and but you can see telltale differences at times. My mannerisms can change, but also those that have the ability to, I'm more than happy for you to be looking at my energy to see what's going on as I'm talking when different beings are around. So yeah, look, let's just see how it goes. I am also going to be doing this face-to-face with groups of people starting this year again. Haven't done it for some time, but this will be happening again. So I look forward to those nights, because I know they've got a few things in store when people are face-to-face with us. Okay, so a few subjects. They want to talk about the Earth. They want to talk about the people of the Earth. They want to talk about energy that's going on the planet. They also want to talk about the galactic interactions with humans from here on, and just discuss some of the energy interactions that are already happening now and how that's going to be changing over the time ahead. So the Earth, let's start with the Earth, because if you call the Earth the macrocosm, we're kind of the microcosm living on the Earth. So the Earth's going through a lot of energetic changes. There's been frequency shifts that's been very noticeable for about the last 15 years. But there has certainly been subtle energy shifts that have been going on probably for about the last 60. And what's probably been affected more so before it affected us was the changes to the Earth. Because the Earth, believe it or not, the Earth's energy system ranges from very subtle to quite powerful. So the subtle changes that have been going on the Earth relate to a lot of the Earth changes that have been happening on the Earth. But of course, when there are Earth changes, generally that's in direct relationship to what's happening with us as well, which a lot of people haven't actually put the two and two together. I know a lot have, but certainly some haven't. So the one thing, let's hit you with the not so positive stuff to start with. It's always good to finish off on a positive. So the not so positive stuff is the Earth is going to be continuing to go through Earth changes, and sometimes fairly severe. There will be a climax to this for this year around August, September. It's like the rumblings that are going on a subtle level within the Earth are going to be building up as they do, and they've told me, because they watch the Earth with a lot of technology, and they can't promise, but they can, with reasonable accuracy, they can predict when there are changes happening. When I say changes, earthquakes, undersea, above ground, or ground earthquakes, above sea, I should say, but also under the sea. And this sort of thing is going to be, of course, affecting us. So what is creating those earth changes? That's probably the biggest question. So the answer to that one is it's twofold. So number one is these frequency changes that have been going on for the last 60 years that have been affecting the Earth on probably a deeper level, but it's more pronounced is the last 15 to 30 years that have been affecting people. Now, our consciousness, our energy system should, by rights, should integrate with the Earth's energy system. The problem is that because a lot of people have been disconnected, we haven't been. Now, I need to say now that Xavier is coming in, and he wants to be. He's happy with what I'm saying, but he wants to be clearer and more precise. So. So he talks about our energy changes. For the last 15 years, the energy shifts within the human energy field have been quite pronounced. This stems back to the galactic origins of our species, the fact that when galactic races came in to help start what's known now as the human race, which is a combination of off-world species and also a humanoid species that already existed here. The energy system of the off-world species was at a higher frequency than the Earth's energy system. So what happens is, after several generations of species being here, their energy system begins to dull in vibration and in frequency, and it comes down to the Earth's energy frequency. So hundreds of years go by, thousands of years go by, and of course, as those species intermingle, humans are a product of that mingling. Let's say the cooking pot of life. What's happened in recent years, in your last 15 years, the frequency changes have been raising constantly. With that, there's been a dormancy within your physical and energy system that has been changing. The dormant DNA that you've held within your physiology is becoming active. Of this, many of you are already aware of. These changes create not so subtle shifts in energy within your physicality, within your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. When you consider the amount of humans on this planet, the consciousness that's connected to each one of those beings that are going through these changes has a massive effect on the Earth's energy system. So of course the Earth is changing with you. But because of the conflict, the internal conflict that's going on within each one of you, some more than others, of course there are many of you that are already working with these changes, following through with good advice to keep your energy system in balance, looking at physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. These are the things that will make life a lot easier for you when you can do this ongoing. A respect for yourself, a respect for the planet is needed more than ever, and a respect for others. So you are not the only one going through changes. There are many, everyone, in fact, is going through changes, not only the Earth, not only humans, animals are, all species of insects and animals, birds, even the fish in the water. All of these species are changing somewhat. Some are having more difficulty than others, but it is humans that fight this change the most. So one of the effects of this raising in frequency is, of course, you're manipulating and controlling systems that exist on the planet. This has been seen on many worlds. The same effect is always noted by us when we see evolving species, evolving cultures that happen through this same effect of frequency changes, which in turn creates an evolving species, which humans are. The issue lies within these systems that have been set to control you. Those that fight the systems that are breaking down, that don't want change, they are the ones that are being affected more so. The mental illness is on the rise. Physical illness is on the rise. Emotional well-being is a product, or lack of well-being, I should say, is a product of those imbalances within the physical and mental processes. So, okay. So I'm going to bring someone else, or someone else wants to come in, a female energy. She's called Ness. So she's of a highly spiritual culture, very similar to us, but just probably 400 to 500 years ahead of us. So she's talking about things to think about to keep us safe. So she says, with these changes, the one effect, which is possibly more common among species when these changes are occurring, is miscommunication or a lack of communication. When people of any species begin to go inward, have difficulty understanding what's going on within themselves, are confused, it would be advised for those that are more aware to step out and learn to ask if that's someone you think maybe is internalizing. Ask them if they're okay. Ask them if they need help. Even help in just trying to understand what's going on inside them. Even humans at a higher evolved level, when they feel insular, they can act like a caged animal and be, let's say, in battle mode when it's not necessary. It means the adrenals would be flowing fairly heavily. Means reactivity would be very high. It also means that these people would be looking, grasping at alcohol, at drugs, anything that can help them to escape from the reality they find themselves in. Unfortunately, as many of you are already aware of, there is nowhere to hide from this. So communication is one of your best tools. We highly advise that you do not hold this within. Be prepared to communicate, to talk. Many friendships, many relationships are tending to break down in these times because one byproduct of this high vibrational energy that is flowing through, which is also the byproduct of these failing manipulative systems that exist on the planet and are beginning to fall apart. So one of the products that comes to the surface is truth. Truth can always be seen when there is high frequency in your environment. And so this is where relationships begin to face the imbalances that possibly have been there for a period of time. And so the truth will always come to the surface. So allow those relationships to fall away. If that truth can't be dealt with, to try and hang on to something that doesn't work uses a lot of energy up. And at times like this, when there is much change, it is very important to be able to hold on to your energy that you have and not allow it to be taken from you. The major thing that will serve everyone is experiences like meditation, yoga, energy exercises, anything that will help create a stable life force within you. Good communication with the people around you that you love and that love you. And remember to nurture the young, because it's the young that will be carrying, a term you use, carrying the baton for you after you pass. So there's a saying, I believe, teach your children well. This has been good advice for many cultures, and we will always follow through with this. I'm just going to take a short stop. That allowed me to just go through to see if there are any questions. So please, guys, if you do have any questions, this is the perfect opportunity for you to send some questions through. These beings that are here are happy to answer, but you need to be sending them through. They're very happy to give you information, but it's far more dynamic when questions do come through. Now, I've got a question here from someone. I did see it. The Latika Lovell, do you do readings? Latika, yes, I do. And I do galactic readings too. So the readings I do, I don't do crystal balls. I don't see into the future. Sometimes I get told certain things, but basically they're health readings. But what I do get told and what I do connect with, or who I do connect with, are galactic beings that are, if there is one or two or many around you, I see them and I'll be able to pass messages on to you from them. I hope that helps. And hi, Cat West. Nice to see you too. And g'day, Daniel. All right. So please, questions, guys. Really important. Helps lift the energy. Okay, so what else have we got? So, all right. So those. Let's talk a little bit about those that. Oh, okay. Well, sorry, we've got Jojo. Call that. Okay. Could they answer a question about a past dear friend? He said he was going to the Star People. Okay, well, a lot of what is said in life can be good wishes. They're not going to give me anything exact about your friend. But remember, we all come from the stars originally, and we all have galactic energy within us, and that's what's waking up now. So you could have said to him, if you'd known, he already has star energy within him. So, but you just got to let people pass with those good intentions sometimes. Hope that helps, Jojo. Trish, I've come in late, so apologies. How do we address this polarity of sides so that both can see that their neighbour is not the enemy? Trish, this is a difficult one because they were going to talk about something similar. So let me bring them in. So this is Xavier again. So he says the one thing that is already being seen, and this comes really up in your question, is the fact that there is a divide that's beginning to happen between those that are choosing to do positive things, to help themselves, to follow through with, to keep their energy in balance. And then there are those who are fighting it. And if those people that are fighting it don't want to, they have to want to change. You can't make someone change. Uh, this is commonly known as rescuing, and believe me, it does not work. Um, so for those people, all you can do, sometimes, let's say, alternative thinking actually agitates them. Sometimes the best you can do is offer more mainstream help, like psychologists or something that doesn't kind of freak them out. Um, there's a lot that can be done, but again, if they're going to fight it, then there's no point in trying to force them to get help from someone you might know. Um, so the best you can do is communicate with them and just uh, do your best not to get up on your soapbox. This is a pretty important thing. And really just hear them out and offer advice, but don't try to fix them because they need to want to be fixed. Hope that helps, Trish. Daniel, will our communication with and interactions improve and get stronger in time? Yes, yes, yes. They wanted to talk about that one too. So in the near vicinity, so in this year to come, and particularly up until the middle of 2023, what is going to be happening is there will be far more interactions on a verbal level. So kind of like when you hear messages from your guides or you hear communication from your guides. Um, I feel very fortunate that I see them and I can hear them if they're there. Um, so I can pass stuff on, but it's really great if you can hear it yourself. And but what they have said to me is that as time goes on, getting closer to 2023, um, there will be far more uh, verbal, far more physical connection also. So physical connection has already started. Um, this is contact, basically, physical contact, and uh, and there are many different races out there that are wishing to help us. Um, they have a much more open slather now to help us. Before they had to keep to an agenda and keep not visible to us, but I've said late last year that all you have to do is spend half an hour to an hour looking up at the stars, and you'll see some strange things going on up there. On several occasions, I've seen streaks of light, which looks like a shooting star, fly across and then stop, and then three stars seemingly come out of that one particular shooting star. And of course, they're not shooting stars; they're craft. Um, there's a lot of craft that aren't visible. There's many craft actually that aren't visible. They have cloaking devices, and this isn't Star Trek stuff. It's real, and um, and they also have cloaking devices on themselves if they don't have those innate abilities within themselves. They have it with technology also. So they're more than well prepared to sort of mix within us as well. So I've got Fiona here. How do we deal with the collective grief around the planet's struggles and loss of relationships as we evolve? Um, Humans are an interesting creature. Sometimes we need to get to an incredibly low point before we're willing to actually ask for help. Um, Men have been notably like that, but I'm finding women can be too. Um, of course, it's the old programming around men. You don't talk about emotions and all of that sort of stuff. Um, but they're used to these beings that are watching over us are used to seeing this, and they they're telling me that this is going to change. Um, but it still is going to keep tracking the way it is at the moment for a while, because again, people have to get to a very low point before they're prepared to actually change their views, change the way they look at other people, change the way they look at life. And of course, and I've said this before too, and it's kind of stating the obvious, that these different races that are watching over us and really wanting to help us aren't going to come here en masse and for physical contact until we can properly get along with ourselves. And this is one of the processes we're going through at the moment. So not only are those manipulative systems on the planet breaking down, it's these belief systems that we've had for a long time: bigotry, um, hatred, anger, um, against other races. You know, we can't get along with other humans of different colors. How are we going to get along with other species of different shapes and sizes? Um, it'd be madness to expect them to come down here and all stand around in a circle and sing Kumbaya. Sorry, I had to throw that one in, but it won't happen that way. The contact is gradual, and it's happening more so for those people who are already swinging the obvious way of what's coming, but also other people are seeing them. So those people that are resistant are seeing these things too in the skies, and they're asking questions. So even that little thing of seeing something happening in the sky that is not normal um, is changing thought processes within people, um, within those that are most resistant, and this is massive. What this is actually doing to people. Hi Claire, hi Claire, hi Mary, um, and we've got Nikki Hine. So Nikki, hello. I have been getting messages. This is one message I had came through. Look at things from a 5D perspective, not a human 3D perspective. Definitely. Turn it upside down. This catches the ego off guard and allows the true message perspective to come through. Um, uh, yep, probably not the easiest thing for everyone to understand. Um, but really, one of the best things we can be doing from a practitioner perspective, and I do a lot of work in helping people to get more grounded, to be more self-aware. And this is one of the things that's really going to be helping us in the time to come, is being very self-aware, understanding our energy system. When we can understand our energy system, we can then understand other people's energy system, but then we can start to feel when there's something else around us, um, and hence guides, galactic beings, and we can then have interactions. Um, it's really important that we know that we're all evolving here. Our abilities are just happening naturally. We don't have to force them. They're already happening, and it's going to continue to happen. And of course, um, exponentially, it will grow, because of the way this raising in frequency occurs. It doesn't just happen, um, so much change of frequency in, say, the next 10 seconds. It gets faster and faster and faster and faster and higher and higher and higher, much quicker than the sort of seconds of a clock going by. Um, Daniel, will the galactic beings come forward as we rise? Sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, yeah. They are going to be coming forward. They said to me that meditation is one of the most important things that we can be doing. Learning to find stillness within us. because this raising in frequency, as we become more grounded, what will become a very strengthened part of us is the need to meditate, and also where that meditation can take us. So our abilities and our skills on an energetic level are beginning to raise quite quickly. And this is something that's was unexpected for these galactic beings, particularly about this all happened about 2 years ago. We broke through what their expected uh, agenda of us was to be when they thought our abilities were going to start rising and changing. We bypassed that long before that expected change came. And so they've had to upgrade their understandings on how to deal with us and how to help us. And which is what they're doing, and things are happening a lot quicker. So there is more physical connection happening, and but definitely more energetic connection happening. And this is where meditation will really help us. I'd like to talk. I've got a mantis being called Javed. So he's actually with me. There's quite a few of these mantis beings around. One of the main reasons they're here is on a protective nature, but also they have, in their past, they've had a very similar culture to us where they've been manipulated by the likes of reptilian beings. But we're talking physical, um, obviously visibly reptilian beings, whereas those reptilian beings are working on on an energetic level with certain humans on this planet. And those humans are quite often corporate leaders or politicians, people that can affect a lot of control and manipulation. And anyway, he wants to talk about these changes as well from his perspective. So he he says his culture has been watching us for quite a long period of time, and he has noted just how close the scenarios and the interactions between leaders and the let's say the general populace of a planet, um, as much as he looks very different to humans, um, there is still the same scenario that had been going on for his people. And he said their planet and their people are on many planets. Some were home planets, some were slave planets. They were the slaves. And so what he says is that it's most important to stand up and fight for what you believe in. He refuses to go into minor details of, and I know what he's talking about, things like um, flu vaccinations and vaccinations for other things, which we all know what I'm talking about. Because this stuff is affecting our bodies. The tests haven't been done, haven't been proven over long periods of time to see what effects that they're having on us, on our bodies, um, and other manipulative systems that are here. Um, he says, keep looking for other sources of structures, of um, ways of living that can do away with these manipulative systems. For starters, the plant kingdom has the best range of medicines for all people. That's why the plant kingdom is here, is to provide us with medicines. If the people of your planet only knew how powerful your plants are and how cooperative your plants are on a genetic level and on a consciousness level. He's talking about the banking systems now. There is no need for banking systems. Trade has worked for millions of years through many different societies that have been very successful in their upbringing of children, the continuation of the species without war, without battles, without manipulation. Trade has always been a very successful utilization of energy. And it still can work as long as spirituality is behind everything that you do, which is the use of integrity, the use of conscience, the use of truth, and the use of love and, of course, heart energy. And the lack of threat, the lack of concern of loss. There is more than enough trade to supply the world with everything it needs. It's only the elite that dictate where this trade of energy goes through the manipulative systems. This has been seen on many civilizations throughout the universe. And of course, one thing you may not realize, he says, is that this raising in frequency that you are feeling on your planet is not just on your planet. It's on many planets. Many civilizations at this time are going through great change. But it is noted more strongly on your planet because we have been watching your planet for millions of years already. Many generations of our people and of other groups have been watching the changes that have been occurring within the many different species that live here, have lived here, and continue to live here. There are already other species of humanoid beings beyond what is known as human, living on your planet, living underground, living on world, above ground, living within your waterways, the oceans, even within freshwater waterways. These systems that I speak of, that are breaking down, will happen. The thing to remember is there needs to be systems in place for when they do break down. So look, create, invent other systems that can take over from perhaps the current political system. Leadership is one of the first things that will be needed. Leadership in a new way, a way that respects the people. And not one leader, but a number of leaders. Your Native American cultures found this out. One leader is open to ego and control and manipulation. When there is a broad creation of leadership and elders, then there is more clarity and balance can be found. This has worked for many thousands of years for us. Okay, so he's sort of backing off. I think there were some questions building up, so I'll try to come back to the questions. Hi Claire. So got Christina here. When I moved to Melbourne 20 years ago, I was out watching the skies and there were 6 lights in a circle and they moved backward and forward. Luckily, I had my cousin witness it as well. That's happening quite commonly now. And it's just so great to see because it can't be confused with anything else. You know, you can see the lights going slowly across the sky, the satellites up very high, then there's the planes with the flashing lights. But when you get lights doing that, and like I said, I've seen a few times now what appear to be shooting stars and then other lights coming out of them when that shooting star stops all of a sudden. Dan's got a question. Good on you, Dan. They mentioned that everything has been affected with what's going on, including animals and plants. Will animals and plants be affected or change in their natural characteristics before us? Yes. Can we use plants and animals as an indicator that changes are happening, or as an early warning system? Good question. I have to throw it to them. So I've got Xavier again coming in. Okay, so he's talking about, first up, he's talking about animals. He says, on many worlds, on many other worlds, there are, of course, more than one type of being on a planet. And they have what is the equivalent of animals or birds or insects, flying creatures, underwater creatures. And they are not looked upon as menial creatures either. They're very well respected as just another species with a different purpose and a different life process, but not menial. So the sensitivity of the beings that live on these planets, that see these creatures as something more than just menial, they have learnt to sensitize themselves, or it's just been a part of their evolution, that their sensitivity picks up far more what's going on with animals, not unlike the native cultures do, naturally, or particularly in their heyday, going back a few hundred years, when the medicine men and the medicine women would go out and connect with sometimes quite fierce animals or beings, and yet they would stand there and communicate with them. Because there was a peace, there was a neutral energy that those people carried. When fear comes to the surface, beings react, including us. When there's anxiety, beings react, people react. So for us, it's important that we learn to sensitize ourselves all over again. So he says again, the most important thing is meditation, finding stillness within, so that you can hear, feel, see more about what's going on right under your noses. And it happens every day. To be able to see the changes in patterns of how animals eat, how they act, how they look, what you see in their eyes, including, he says, and he doesn't like the word, but including your pets, because he sees how we utilize what we call pets. We tend to dumb them out because we need to be superior. We should learn to be equal with them. A balance will always occur naturally, he says, and then we work together extremely well, and we allow each other's intelligence to rise to the surface, just like two friends can, when that balance is there. I hope that answers your question, Dan. So Nikki, during my meditations, I get this clamp on my head like two hands holding me. I rise very high during this time and I get images, and it's after this I get messages. And what you'll find is that's a great example of the energy signature of a being coming in. So, and I get that on quite a few occasions. So when a particular being is there and working with you, and this can be guides as well, although galactic beings tend to have or can have a stronger energy. With a mantis being that used to be there with me, unfortunately he's passed now, but with a mantis being that used to be there with me, when he first came in and when I was channeling him, I felt my head was going to explode. His energy was so intense, so strong, that I just felt my head filling up with energy. And as I started to speak when he spoke, it began to calm, but it was still pretty intense. So every being, every guide has an energy signature. And so that energy signature you're feeling, like two hands holding your head, that's the energy signature of, I would say, most likely a galactic being, because of it. It seems like it's fairly intense. So, yep. I hope that answers that one. Claire, regarding plants, are you referring to plant medicine, ayahuasca? No, there's actually a whole lot more. Ayahuasca and peyote and DMT and all of those sort of things that are out there that have been used that are either hallucinatory or extreme detoxing for extreme situations. But there are medicine plants that are far more subtle than those that can be used in exchange of headache tablets or um, blood pressure tablets. I can, unfortunately, I don't know the name of some of them, but when I see them, um, I, I, I know some of them, and I don't call myself an expert on plants. I'm not a naturopath or a herbal doctor or anything, but I do have a connection with certain plants from experiences, and they're all around us. There are the equivalent of probably just about every medicine um, that's made from chemicals that's on the market. Now, why the pharmaceutical companies are minimizing the availability of a lot of herbal remedies now is because they're scared. They're scared of their power being taken away from them, because plant medicines have been used on this planet for thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of years. Um, it's just that they've taken control of the whole package through chemicals. Um, and unfortunately, something most people don't know is a lot of the herbal companies that produce herbs for naturopaths and herbal doctors are actually owned by pharmaceutical companies. So when the perfect plant medicine comes along that can help cancer, and certainly this has already occurred on several occasions, suddenly that herbal remedy won't be available. It's taken off the market because it cures cancer. So this is what we're up against, and it's just gone on for too long. And this is what I mean about fighting, and what they mean about fighting for what we believe in. And I remember something. It was Xavier said last time, last year when I did the last channeling night. He said every society needs a good revolution when leadership has gone out of control, when manipulation rules the country, and when the leaders that have been put in power by the people no longer serve the people. This is when a revolution is needed. I'm not trying to incite violence here, but what he is saying by that is we need to take our power back, and we need to take back the power and those things that have been there for us for a long time, and really the people need to control it, not one or two huge companies. So there are those, this is Trish, another question. There are those that believe in the violent overthrow of reptilians, Satanistic cabal, and pedophiles. How does this fit in with moving into 5D vibratory state? Is the focus actually feeding the lower energy? Well, exactly, and you've got to look at that one. So I don't know how much of it is violent in the overthrow. What the people that are, let's say, fighting the good fight, as the Native Americans would put it, that are fighting for the people and for the earth, sometimes blood has to be spilt in extreme situations. I'm certainly not promoting that at all, but what's been happening on the planet, when you consider that a lot of the Satanistic cabal, who are pedophiles, and the reptilian energies that are behind those people, those beings, the amount of deaths that have occurred from individuals that are being driven like puppets from reptilian energies, high-level reptilian energies too, I might add, then something has to be done. And this is part of the revolution. We can't, but not all of them have come to a violent end. I know that for a fact. A lot of them are being held within jails until they passed, and this will be an end to them. And this is part of the whole raising in frequency that goes on. Now there's an old saying, and this is part of shamanism, that negative influences, negative energy cannot sustain itself when it's in a high vibrational environment. So when you consider what's going on now, you cannot run from this high vibrational energy. You can't go into a cave, you can't go on top of a mountain. It's everywhere. So this is affecting everyone, and all of these systems, these people, the truth is coming to the surface. So we just need to remember that and not get too pulled down into that depression and those feelings that there's so much darkness going on. It's part of the change. What's that saying? Out of chaos comes clarity. Well, we haven't got to the clarity part yet. It's coming. It's certainly getting closer, but the chaos is still here, because what's happening is everything, I think Nikki put it in a way just before, everything's being turned upside down. And that's exactly what is happening. Everything is being turned upside down, and the truth is becoming more visible. So hope that helps, Trish. And Alison Barford, hey, I've seen the streak in the sky that you mentioned many times lately. Yeah, yay. And look, highly recommend. I think it's a great thing either to sit on your car bonnet for half an hour or an hour, see what's going on up there, because we tend to not look up. You know, the amount of times I've said to people about chemtrails that are going across the sky, and the other name for it is geoengineering. And highly recommend you Google geoengineering and chemtrails. Um, and no one looks up, and they don't ask questions. And so um, this is where we need to start looking up and seeing exactly what's going on up there. Hi, Amanda. Good to see you on board. So Amanda said, beautiful words, Amanda. Be the change that you want to see in the world. And this is what the galactic beings have been promoting for a long time. It's why I do what I do, is to help people to be the best that they possibly can be. So that meditation, that grounding exercise is a part of that. And the more grounded you become, the more your abilities shine, and the more connected you are to the earth, and the more at peace you are. Now, when you're at peace, you attract people to you that need to find that peace within themselves. So be prepared to be the teacher. Every one of us has a teacher inside us, and it's so important that we allow that teacher to come to the surface. Because hey, you know, we sometimes we don't want to see ourselves as an elder because it's saying we're old. Believe me, elders, it's not just about being old, and we're not old. I'm not old. I don't feel it anyway. But I enjoy teaching. I enjoy seeing that light pop open for people, you know, the light bulb coming on. And it's amazing to see people grow, and when the penny drops and all of the things that have been going on for them when they haven't known they haven't understood, and there's been confusion around what's been happening on a psychic or clairvoyant level for them. And then when it's just put in some clarity right in front of them, you see this beautiful deep sigh, and they realize that they're actually on track. They're not off track. They're not in this weird place. They're not weirdos. They're actually more on track than they realize. So one last question before we go. It's 8:10. So Dan, it's clear that the communication and interactions with the galactic beings is increasing and will become a regular thing as we move forward. We look towards the galactic beings to help us, but is there anything we can do to help them, to help us? As it's about the exchange of energy between both instead of a one-way exchange. Great question, Dan. Look, again, what they want to see for us is kind of like I just said. I love seeing people grow and the light bulb coming on. They're exactly the same for us. They want to see our light bulb coming on. They want us to be able to live in a much more peaceful manner. But we've got to find that in ourselves first. So bringing spirituality more into our life is very important. The meditating thing, being more grounded, caring for other people, helping other people, being in service is a huge thing. A lot of people are in service and they don't even realize it. You know, they might be in the corporate scene, or they might be in a garage of, you know, working on cars. But maybe those words, that wisdom that they have within them, just helps people that are around them. This is what's needed. More people who are at peace with themselves, who can feel when those special words are needed, because then these galactic beings, when they're ready, they'll happily come down here and physically talk with us, sit down and talk with us. But until we help ourselves, they can't do that. And you've got to remember something. This is a big thing. That these beings, as long as I've been talking to them, which has been for about 20 years or so, as long as I've been talking to them, they're looking forward to one thing: meeting other members of their family. And we have a lot of DNA inside us that's dormant, that isn't classified as human, that's been called rubbish DNA. As this DNA wakes up, what's waking up in us is DNA that's connected to all of these different species that are watching over us at the moment. So as that wakes up, we're becoming closer to our family beyond this planet. And this is what they're looking forward to. And it's important to remember that the thing we can do for them is to be the best we can, like Amanda said. And this is rather important for all of us to be aiming to do that. Do your best not to get caught up in all the negative stuff, because there's so many positive things that we can be doing. And one of the things that they did say to me a little while ago, which I really took note of, is that it's not just spirituality isn't just about preaching to the converted or preaching to the unconverted. It's also about yourself and living in a way that you enjoy being who you are. Creating things, creating beautiful works of art, or creating something that gives you fulfillment. At the moment, and this came from listening to this information. I'm in the process of building a North American strip canoe, which is basically it's an age-old technique of building canoes, and so I'm in the process of building one at the moment. I'm having a ball because I'm an ex-furniture maker, and this really helps me in a lot of ways because it calms me down and as well. And I just feel like I'm meditating all day long, all the time that I'm working on it. And it's also an opportunity for me to find that stillness, and I get to communicate with my guides and talk with these galactic beings at times too. So it's important we get the fullness of our life to the surface, and it's not just about helping others, it's about helping ourselves to be the best person we can possibly be. So look, on that note, guys, I'd like to thank you incredibly for being here and throwing in all those questions. There's lots coming up. I just wanted to rattle off a few things that I'm running over the next few months. So February, I've got level 1 shamanism at Riverdale on the 13th and 14th of Feb. March, I've got a drum making workshop on the 7th of the 3rd, so 7th of March. I've got level 2 shamanism at Riverdale, and I've got a medicine wheel workshop happening also on the 28th. April, I've got, guess what, level 3 shamanism at Riverdale. And May, I've got, ready for it, level 4. It's a 4-day workshop. And also in May, I'm hoping to be going down to Mount Gambier. If not, it'll be somewhere around that to do some work. And I'll be going up to Queensland around June, July. So things are happening fairly thick and fast at the moment. So really grateful for everyone sharing, and thanks for that note, Jackie. It's really great that you've come on board, and just remember, every Thursday night, Fireside Chat. See you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.